Welcome back to the Voice of Metal. Hopefully, you guys are all doing very well out there, and I do appreciate all the new people that have subscribed to the channel so far. I do appreciate you guys. And those who are just seeing my channel for the first time, hopefully, you will do the same thing. I do appreciate each and every one of the likes and follows that I get. It means a lot to me, and I try to respond to comments as soon as I possibly can. Also, I'll make sure I check my mic because I've had some issues in the past. But yeah, just so you know, it does help. And like I've said before, and I want to say this again right from the beginning, the way I'm trying to do this is I'm right now just starting off talking about topics in the metal industry to kind of get things going. Later on, when I get to a certain amount of subscribers, I'm hoping that eventually I will have maybe some smaller bands on here to start. Then, once it grows even more, hopefully, they will come to me and ask me, hey, I see your channel's really huge. I see you've got a lot of people actually on your channel. We want to be a part of this. And the whole point of what I'm trying to do with this channel is to it's not just about the music and the new albums. It's about the people that are behind that, the musicians, even maybe some of the stagehands if they want to talk. If I can do that, that'd be awesome. I'm not sure what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. It's probably one of those things I might have to ask somebody. I'm not certain. What That's the main goal. So basically, I might have some general questions, maybe some questions from the live stream when somebody's on here and they want to know. So if they tune in at the time that I'm doing the live stream, I'm going to have to probably work a time in to where both me and the person I'm going to be talking with will be on here. So it might not be at this time. It might be earlier. It might be some other day. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Play it by ear. And I still got to set that stuff up yet, but I've been looking into doing a call with like Zoom or something else like that, so that way I can talk to them face to face. And then once I get to a certain point, hopefully I'll be able to do live, which would be even better. So that was the key thing later on down the road, which might be a little difficult with a laptop and a good microphone and some cameras. It might not work out as well. It's hard to say. But anyway, now on to my topic for tonight. I know I talked about this last night about Limp Bizkit being on tour again and how people had this love-hate relationship, I think, with them to a point. They were huge. They were very huge. And I definitely liked some of the music when I was growing up. It was definitely different. It was kind of like one of those things that was like outside the norm for like a metal band, but they're not really a metal band, but they're not really rap. So they're kind of a mix. I think that's how I put it, but everybody has their own opinion on it. I'm not certain. Also, they've been gone for so long, other than like some of the other bands and people out there, like the one I'm going to be talking about tonight, and we'll get on that here soon. It's rather interesting. I think a lot of this love-hate possibly with them might be because they were kind of the good guy, bad guy kind of thing. It's like the Robin Hood, I guess, of the day type thing for the music industry. They were trying to change the whole dynamic of the musical landscape, and they were actually helping try to do that and going against a Goliath of the record industry itself. When I was growing up, I remember a lot of this going on. I hadn't done much of that kind of stuff myself. Later on, I kind of heard about the MP. I wasn't really even into MP3s for a long time. I was still on the CDs and this, that, and the other. And I guess I just didn't get it. But now that now it's later on, moving forward, I definitely am doing that. Now, the one thing is rather interesting. The counterpart, or the opposite side of the coin, from that whole Napster deal that we all know about. Well, some people know about. Some people that are younger might not know this. But what it boiled down to is Napster started. This is before streaming. This is before files, a lot of file sharing. Napster was huge, and it was one of those things that was revolutionary for the time, in the tech genre stuff, because you could borrow music as what they claim, and people did. And the music industry didn't like that. Neither did some of the bands because they lost money, which I can totally understand. Not wanting to lose revenue. Um, the argument with a lot of the fans per se, and it's like me, like I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There was a lot of music that I wasn't exposed to because the radio itself was our medium, and MTV at the time became a little later. But you only had, when you were a kid growing up, you didn't have maybe a huge allowance when you were growing up, right? Like we all did. Depends on your parents, I guess, whether they're well off or not. But I guess for quite a few of us, we bought what records we knew would be good, and we kind of didn't do the rest. And I was always pretty good, I thought, of picking out the best bands, at the time. And a lot of it was influenced by radio. A lot of it was influenced by MTV at the time. Headbangers Ball was my thing. I still listen to some of the not so metal stuff, but Metallica was like one of my first ones, which brings me to the point of the whole Napster scenario. Basically, what it boils down to, this whole entire time that people are kind of in the middle of this big two-party, three-party, well, the music industry, Metallica, Limp Bizkit, all these other bands, they're all kind of, fighting over this Napster thing, right? And a lot of the innocent bystanders were the fans themselves, but kind of innocent. A lot of the musicians, I can understand their point. Don't steal our music. Totally understand it. And, and that's the thing. I've talked to people before about that. What was their, some people that I know that thought, oh, well, this is bad. This is bad. They shouldn't do that. Well, I said, well, maybe there's a way around that. Maybe the music industry could somehow monetize the music with the MP3s and still share them legally. Well, and still make money. You know what I mean? Eventually, Napster did change their business model to more of a subscription service, kind of like the Apple stores, music store. I forgot what theirs is called. Google Play turned into YouTube Music, and then Spotify. But the one thing I thought about when I was hearing all this and the controversy with the fighting, and Limp Bizkit was actually for the fans. They wanted to get their music out there. They wanted to have this self-promotion. To them, they saw it as I think from their perspective, a platform to distribute or spread their music out, to bring in new fans, to sell tickets, to sell merchandise, to sell all these little things that can make them money. The music industry wasn't going to make any money doing it that way because a lot of bands, a lot of the tours, that's where the band makes their money. And normally in the old days with records and this, that, and the other, the record companies made their money that way. So it's one of those dynamics. It was fair for probably the bands a little more than it was the companies. But now Metallica took that in a whole different retrospect. They actually thought they were stealing music from them personally. I don't know. They probably got a cut of their music. It depends on the record deal. I'm sure every band's different depending on what they cut the deal with their lawyers or their agents or whatever how they do what they do, right? And it's rather interesting. And that's why they are as big or as small as they are, depending on what kind of deals they make, what kind of music they make, how often they make it. And I'm sure they have to produce a certain amount of records within a certain amount of time frame. a certain amount of songs, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. And that was the other thing. The music industry, was trying to probably deal out as many different types of music at the time, and that same goes for rap at the time too, is that they're probably trying to push out a certain amount of music, but a lot of fans didn't like it because the fact that they might have bought an album, right? And they get one or two really good songs that they've heard on the radio, but the rest are crap. They thought, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm not going to spend 10, 12 bucks at the time. That was a lot of money for a record and CD. I mean, I think CDs were around $25, $30 a piece, which is pretty big at the time. Maybe even more, because I think there might have been $40 or $50 when they first started off, and they kind of slowly went down to about $12, which is about the same as what cassette tapes were running for at the time. And I can see where people were like that. I was very particular about which ones I picked up, because if I had more than so many songs on an album, I figured I'm probably pretty safe to buy the album that I personally liked. Now, not everybody likes every single song that a band does, or a rapper, or whoever the artist is. And this is going to get to my other point about this whole thing with Slayer. They basically, I think they got blackballed, is what it boils down to, because they were fighting the music industry. They were fighting some of the artists. I think some of the artists was the same way. It's kind of like with Ticketmaster too. And they're still doing this whole thing with tickets. You go in, you buy some tickets, right? Which I did, and then I find out there's someplace else that might actually be cheaper. Go figure. And sometimes you wait at the right time, you can do it. But there's resellers out there. It's just like scalping. It's the same thing. Only it's technically legal because it's an official ticket. So basically, you go buy a ticket, you turn around, you sell it for money. Or you might lose money. It's a gamble. That they're taking the risk of buying it and trying to sell it to the audience out there. There are some of the smaller bands that are not quite so, I say, it's not quite as easy, or you can't just do it. You buy a ticket, it's yours. It's not transferable, which I think that needs to be addressed in the music industry really badly, especially for the fans and the musicians. Ticketmaster was taking a lot of the cut for their stuff. And like here, I just bought some tickets not too long ago, $200 in fees. Really? $400 for 2 tickets. That's ridiculous. So yeah, wasn't too happy about that, but I knew I may or may not get it for the price that I got it at, so I went ahead and bought it anyway. Now moving forward not really moving forward. This is about the same time frame Limp Bizkit was around. I think with the way they were doing music, they were getting really huge, really big. Slayer was not, I think, as well known because it was heavier, and a lot of fans or people in general probably thought it was a little more evil, so to speak, by certain people's standards. But I don't think it's not that bad. And they've just recently, not that long ago, been on national TV, so people know about Raining Blood and all this other stuff, which is phenomenal songs. And I'm hoping that Jerry King was the guy that I think is a co-guitarist and also writer for Slayer does not leave metal for good. I mean, I don't care what Limp Bizkit does. I know you hate him, but trust me, don't do it. I think, Carrie, you're a phenomenal musician. I love your guys' work. I love seeing you. I have never seen you. That's the one band I have not seen yet. Well, I've got a checklist I'm going to go down through. Basically, when my son was growing up, I didn't do a lot of that. I did it some before I met my ex-wife now, and then and she left right after my son was born, which is pretty bad. It's like not even a year, and she left me. But long story, I don't even know why, but I'm not getting into that. But anyway, with all that going on, I was spending more time with my son. We just recently saw Megadeth, Five Finger Death Punch, The Who, the Mongolian metal band. I'm trying to remember who else was there. I think that was it, but I'm not sure. There's one other band, but I forgot the name of the band. It's a really good band. I just can't think of the name. I think it's more of a smaller band. But anyway, that right there was one of those things that Five Finger Death Punch was doing kind of the same thing that I was doing at the time. Only he's doing it later on. His kids are around 10. Me, I did it the entire time. And now my son's 18. I have been going to a few more concerts. He is in love with all the metal stuff that's out there right now, like Slayer and all that stuff. So he would be really disappointed to hear that he would leave the band because of Limp Bizkit. I don't even know if my son even knows who Limp Bizkit is or whatever. I never have asked him yet, so I'll have to ask him. But that was the whole thing. They got so big that he was mad. He was saying, if this is the way metal music is going to be going, I don't want nothing to do with it. But to me, the way I see it, if Limp Bizkit does their thing, and then this other band does their thing, and another band does their thing, that doesn't mean it affects you guys. So don't think like that. To me, I think you guys all have, in your own unique way, a different style, different feel, different persona of the music that you guys play. And you can see it in the fans. When you go in the lines through Mudvayne and the Butcher Babies, September Morning, I've seen Sacred Reich with Sepultura. All those bands had way different dynamic listeners. The one was kind of more older, right, which was Sepultura. Infected Rain and all those other stuff had a mixture of people. Five Finger Death Punch had more of the normal, everyday, blue collar, blue worker kind of deal. You know, the people that have the 9-to-5 job, they have money to spend and this, that, era, like Dave Mustaine and all that stuff. Those are the people that they didn't seem like metalheads per se. Now Slayer probably has the same audience that Sepultura had, I would assume. Oh, Max and Igor, that's the one. Max and Igor Cavalera. Those are the guys that look like the rough, tough biker gang kind of guys that are close to my age, that have leather coats and they have, shaved heads or really cool long beards like this, totally different dynamics of people. The Mudvayne audience seems a little bit more wild, where they had the goth makeup and, ripped jeans and this, that, and the other, and some wild tattoos and, metal jewelry. The other guys did too a little bit. They weren't quite as old. So they're all different. Limp Bizkit's probably going to have a whole different audience than Slayer would ever have, and even Max and Igor Cavalera. But I think they share some common bonds. I think some of the people that go to one might watch some of the other ones, and maybe not. It depends. September Morning was a lot different. They're more almost normal, but a little bit off, kind of people. They're really friendly. Everybody is always friendly, no matter who it was. They're really great people to talk to. This, that, they, you walk them down, walking down the street, you might go, oh my gosh, it's like this guy might do this, that, but they're really cool. They're really cool people. So if you ever see a metalhead on the street and you're watching this and you don't watch metal, hey, talk to them, say hello, because they're probably really nice people. Just like the video I have a description of why metalheads are the happiest people on the planet. And it's kind of cool. It's a really good study. It's research. It's, studied. It's got some pretty good, solid background proof. And a lot of the people that are doing the research are metalheads, and they do psychology. They do mental health, I would assume. I think some of them were. So they have a background, a medical background in this to kind of justify it, so that way they're just not saying because they're a metalhead. So, it's pretty cool. So hopefully you guys will get that and enjoy that. Maybe you can see it on my playlist. I just want to say again, make sure you don't forget this headbang, this is subscribe button out there and the like button. Don't forget, headbang both. And I hope to see you guys maybe at a show sometime. We'll see, especially if you're in Colorado and maybe even in Texas, because I will be there. I just got to get a hotel room, which I haven't done. Well, I've been looking, let's put it that way. It'd be nice if I had a little extra funding to do that. So if you guys want to help me out, I think I've got connect. I think I've got some things for PayPal or something on my website. I'm not certain. If not, I'll try to set up later. If you got any comments, if you're a band, let me know. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, the people in the band. So if you're new and you're not well known, bring me your band. Bring me you. All the people in the band. Maybe if they want to talk, that's fine. Let me know. I want to hear your story. If you're just starting off, you want to get the message out about your band, which I'm going to have Mind Incision on here, hopefully, eventually, maybe the bass player. I'm not sure about the rest of the band yet. Also, maybe the Real Insulter could possibly be on here if he's got to learn some more English. And then his friend's band, I forgot the name of it offhand. I don't know if he speaks any English, so maybe I could get him on here. He does the black metal, which sounded really good, and I really liked it a lot. And I think their latest album, their cover is pretty sweet because it's got this really cool skull and this really cool decorative. It kind of looks like a ghost kind of thing, kind of feel to it with like a robe kind of thing with all this fancy looking thing, but a skull's head on it. So, but it's a real skull, not just somebody painted with a skull. So, anyway, I'll let you guys go. Talk to you later. And hope to hear from you guys in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please, please, please do that too. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully my microphone sounds better than the last time. Wait and see what happens, right? I'm still working on that, but we're going to get that squared away. And also having special people on here eventually in a call online on the Voice of Metal. And hopefully a logo after a while. We'll see. I'm still thinking about the ideas for that one. But if you guys got any ideas, let me know. I would love to see them. I don't know if there's a way of posting images on the comments. You could always send me a link. Maybe I can look it over and check it out. I am a designer. I went to college for that. So hopefully I'll get a halfway decent design myself. But if you guys want to help out, got an idea, let me know. Thanks for watching. And have a wonderful metal night. Take care.